Welcome to Three Men and a War Game. I'm your host, Paul, and my favorite thing about 2020 is that I got to see Umphrey's McGee over Valentine's Day, and God, that was a long time ago now.
Nice. I'm Kevin. My favorite thing about 2020 was getting to spend more time with my toddler than I might have otherwise.
That's a good one.
Good spin.
I'm Potter, and my favorite thing about 2020 is I remembered how much of a weeb I am.
Yeah, dude.
So much anime this year.
Yeah, I weebed out real hard this year too. No joke. Yep.
Yeah, I rediscovered my love of anime because for like 10 years I didn't watch it. So,
hey man, I had the same kind of thing happen. For me, it was like watching anime with my 9-year-old reinvigorated my love of anime, and so now I'm trying to like go back and find stuff to watch when she's not around because I have to be pretty careful about what we watch.
Yep.
And there's stuff I want to watch that I wouldn't show her, so I have I need some time for that.
I'm doing the same thing because like there's stuff that my 9-year-old's ready for, but like my 6-year-old may not necessarily be ready for. Like some of the some of the shonen stuff I want to show and get them into. I'm like, there's just enough fan service in it that like makes me go, not for the 6-year-old.
Every shonen anime is like that. There's like one pervy character. It's so annoying.
I know, and sadly, my favorite Naruto character is the pervy character. Jiraiya was my favorite character, and I'm not gonna deny that I did cry when he died.
Aw.
Spoilers. I've never seen it.
Oh, dude. Okay, this thing has been out for almost 20 years.
Yeah,
if you have not seen it.
I'm just fucking with you because I'm never going to watch it.
The moratorium on Naruto spoilers is long past.
Yes. This is like we're in Snape killed Dumbledore territory on Naruto.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my, what?
Sure.
When did that happen?
All right, guys. So what are we talking about today?
A bright new year. 2021 and what we want to accomplish.
Yeah, hobby goals and resolutions for 2021. But first, guys, it has been a long time. I think we'll probably be back to weekly recording sessions, but man, this holiday season was just one thing after another for us, so we haven't recorded in a while.
Yeah, we all kind of got our butt kicked this holiday season.
Yeah. So we got some hobby progress, and I'll
Do we,
if you want to.
What? I said, do we? Do we really?
I think Kev might, but
I don't even have that much actually from the last 3 or 4 weeks. It was really slow for me. I did finish my human Blood Bowl team that's painted like the Raiders.
Yeah.
So they're done, completed. I used water slide transfers for the first time. I don't know why I was so scared of them. It's stupid easy to put them on.
Because they're scary.
Yeah, they're really not though.
I think
they're only scary. It's like that thing that's like, it's only scary until you jump in.
Yeah,
sure.
I did the same thing when I did some of my Imperial Fist. The same way. It was like, why have I avoided doing these things for so many years?
Yeah. I was like, why did I avoid these? It's like the simplest thing.
Well, one of the reasons why I'm avoiding it is because the only thing I've transferred for are my Germans, and they're like collar stickers.
Oof.
Yeah, that's real small. I will say the numbers on the back, I used the smallest numbers for the backs of the jerseys, and that was a little intimidating. But even still, like it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a nightmare, and it was, palatable.
That's good. That's good to hear, actually.
So that was my hobby progress for most of December. But looking back on 2020, I did get 172 models completed.
Barf.
So that feels pretty good.
That should feel pretty good because that I think is above what you had said.
I think that was above your goal. Yeah.
Yeah, my goal was 120, I think. Yeah.
And that's one of the things, dear listener, that we want to do this year is all three of us want to keep a better track of our progress.
Yep.
And what we want to do.
I think there was actually conversation in our Discord the other day about doing a model tracker.
Once you're actually able to hear this, we're going to do like a model tracker and let people, probably not like a full community one, but we'll have like a format people can follow so that we can talk about our hobby goals and what we've been up to. And we'll have regular hobby check-ins.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to revisit this like a couple times this year as we go along and keep motivated.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like looking back at my year, man, my year started painting some Shazvasti models from the Wildfire box. It's funny that like I painted 012 toward the end of the year. But I painted some like 70-ish models for Kings of War. That's a big portion, right? If you think I painted 172 and 70 of them were for Kings of War, that was a lot of what I did.
Yeah. Wow.
Also, somewhere in the realm of 30 models for Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Whew.
Yeah. And then random stuff here and there.
That's a pretty good year, man. Yeah, and you did the like whole Don't Look Back box.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about those.
The Don't Look Back box, which is 10 models. Yeah.
Yes, I mean that's pretty impressive. That's no joke. It was pretty impressive as watching some people kind of download how their hobby year went on the Discord was pretty impressive. There were some large numbers.
Yeah. I mean, quarantine, right?
Yeah. But still, I mean, even with that, it was, just really impressive. More than I could imagine doing in a year.
Yeah, we had quite a few people that were up over 200, well over 200, a few people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which those guys have, I commend you.
Yeah, and they're also like super high quality paint jobs.
Oh yeah, it's not like, what I've been doing lately of just getting base coats on. These guys are like, they're very much showpiece kind of models, some of them.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is pretty impressive.
But Paul, what you been up to?
Not much. I've been busy. But I've been building some things here and there. I did manage to build a bunch of stuff for Infinity. I built the Combined Army unit box alpha or whatever the fuck they're calling it. And then I built the stuff from the Betrayal comic book box. So that's kind of cool. And then I started building. I managed to find a box of the Vital Assets objectives for Legion.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I started putting that together. I kind of gave up at like the bomb, so I still have the bomb carts and some just other objectives. But I got the two guys, the Nemoidian and the Republican senator, built up, and so that's pretty cool because I'm looking forward to trying out the hostage exchange mission. It seems to be a pretty neat one, so I'm looking forward to playing that maybe next time out, or at least having it as an option. I did maybe it was the last time we talked, but I did paint K2SO at some point.
Yeah, it was a really good paint job.
Yeah,
too.
I remember
thank
that
you.
now. Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I forgot you had done that.
That was my last full painting. So that was my last painted model of 2020.
It's crazy because that model has potential to be real boring. And
yes,
you just
it does.
knocked it out of the park. It looks real good.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. And that was kind of the challenge, was keeping it honest to the model or to the character, but at least having something on it.
Yeah, but not like strictly monochrome, right? Like making it actually look interesting visually.
Yeah, because he's
thanks,
got a very
man.
flat color scheme in the movie. So it's not one that
I mean,
translates well.
He's black. There's some servos that are gray, and then he's got one stripe of yellow on each arm.
Right.
That's about all you really have to work with. I haven't done Cassian yet, but I figured out how I'm going to do them, which has led me to the beginning of some decision making on some 2021 Legion stuff. But we'll get there, I guess. So that's really been it for me. Is just kind of putting some stuff together. And now I'm going to start working on some of the stuff that I got for Infinity for Black Friday, some Yao-Gots and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep. How about you, Potter?
So I have kind of cheated, and I have gotten an advance on my 2021 goals. since the last time we've talked. I have got a full unit of Phase 1 Clone Troopers fully painted for my Rebel Army, or my Republic Army. So I got those done. And then I picked up some Stag Champions yesterday, as well as some Umber Great Axes as well, and got those, and got some paint on the Stags last night. So that was fun to paint. Those guys there's a lot of detail in them. They were a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, man. It's taking all my willpower to not be a Baratheon brother with you right now. I'm just like, hold my willpower as tight as I can.
Man, hold out for those Greyjoys.
Yeah, like the Baratheons are just hitting like the true, core, like I want Bretonnians and Warhammer Fantasy feel for me, with all the like heavy armor and cavalry and all this other stuff. I'm really digging them.
Yeah, they're great.
So that's kind of what I've done since the last time we talked. In terms of 2020, I've done shit compared to you guys. I think, like, I was thinking about it. Let's see, I got my Trauma Doc for Pano painted.
You got some Pano stuff painted.
Yeah, I got my Trauma Doc painted for Pano that I was going to do for the competition with whatchamacallit, the Maya cast, but didn't get my stuff submitted in time. And then I got some of my MO painted fully, or like not to my standard, but at least they've got fully painted. It's all base coats, but it's paint. And then I think, because this is 2020, the year that never ended, I think 9th edition launched this year, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I got some Imperial Fist painted this year as well, too.
Nice.
I forgot about those until like last second.
Huh. That's good. I don't even think I remember you talking about painting them. So
I got like half of a Intercessor squad painted.
I thought you were going to say half of an Intercessor.
I mean, the way I feel about GW these days, it might as well be.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, well, I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. You did a shit ton of building, though.
Yeah,
you did a shit ton of building.
Yeah, I built I built pretty much every Eugene model that I have. I built all that. I built all the Pano stuff that I built. All my Star Wars Legion stuff that I built this year. Yeah, I've gotten some faux stuff built this year. So I did a lot of building, and that's what I enjoy out of this hobby, is more of the building side of things. I mean, I enjoy painting. I like painting, but building is what's fun for me.
It's fair.
To get you into some Gunpla, man. I had a lot of fun. That is one thing I did that I didn't talk about. I built some Gundam. Oh boy, those are fun as hell model kits to put together.
I've looked at some of the,
that seems like it should be right up your alley, because it's just building.
Yeah, I've looked at some of the Bandai Star Wars kits as well too to build. So it's definitely something that's crossed my mind to do.
And I mean, they're basically painted. All you have to do is panel line them.
Yep.
Yeah, basically they come on different colored sprues, right? And so, and then they're engineered in a way that they're basically pre-painted. So nice.
Yep. No, and I like Gundam, awesome. So.
And you can easily get the Star Wars ones at Target now.
Yes. I mean, I can get them at Barnes & Noble, Target, if I wanted to. Burst into Flames, Hobby Lobby.
And then you can use the models for Gamma Wolves.
Right.
But that might be breaking some resolutions, which we should get into. So segue.
Yes. Man. All right.
So break into the main topic.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So let's talk about it, guys. We're going to talk about some hobby goals that we have, and then at the end, we'll talk about some questions that we had in our Discord server, because I thought they were super relevant. So we'll handle our goals and resolutions and then answer a couple burning listener questions.
Yep.
All right, cool. So my first goal, you guys, oh boy, I'm really nervous about saying this out loud because it says a lot about my lifestyle, I think, and like the place of privilege that I come from. But
you're gonna drink more beer, eat more brats, and eat more cheese?
No, I mean that would be my Wisconsin goal. That would be my Wisconsinite goal.
Wisconsin.
My Scotty goal.
Well, you said it's where you come from, so that was the first thing I thought of. Is like,
So
stereotypical.
I'm going to set myself a year-long spending goal.
okay.
So the entire year on all my hobby stuff, I want to spend less than $1,000 this year.
That's commendable.
I was like, are you gonna delete that Amazon app you got now, man?
But not. I'm not talking about board games here, fellas. I'm just talking about like the amount of like paints, miniatures, like things, terrain, things related to this hobby. And the reason why. So here's why, right? Part of what I do is I like a lot of people. I think have retail acquisition disorder, and
Rad.
yeah, and I just like retail therapy is real good, and I end up like looking, I'm like, why did I buy some of this shit? And it's just because like I let my desire to just like buy a new shiny thing overtake my common sense. And the last couple months I've actually I think toward the end of November and especially through December, I was trying to be a lot more conservative with where my purchases went, especially with the hobby. And I actually didn't buy almost anything in December.
Wow,
Right.
Nice.
And given that, like I said, I've looked ahead at the year, and I looked basically how I did this was I looked at what are my Greyjoys going to cost, how much did I spend on Crisis Protocol this year, and how much does that leave me left over?
Yeah, Crisis Protocol can definitely divot in that wallet real quick.
I mean, Crisis Protocol can cost you that $1,000. Like that can be it. I mean, if you're up to date right now with Crisis Protocol, you spent over $1,000.
Wow.
Yep, I'm glad I'm not up to date because that would make me cry real quick if I knew that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you think about it, every 3 boxes is $120.
Wow.
And then the train packs are $50 to $60. The starter's $80.
Oh wow, you're
this
even
shit adds
including
up.
the
Thanos is
terrain in
60.
there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you've bought one of every box that they've released, and if you're doing the terrain, that means you bought 2. Like I have 2 boxes of the Cosmic Terrain kit because you need, a good amount of terrain. Plus the mats, the play mats, those are $40 a piece, and there's 3 of them. So like, it adds up fast.
Yeah.
Right, so
buy
you are
everything.
literally talking everything they have ever put out.
Yeah, I mean, but
Okay.
I mean, if I don't want to like sit here and like calculate it up on a tabulator
No,
right now.
no,
But
I understand.
Even the
I'm just-
models on
Yeah.
average, right? On average, so there's 63 models out, right? You take 10 away from we're doing napkin math. You take 10 away from the starter, and you're at 53 models, right? So cut that in half, because it's typically 2 models per box, and then look at $40, right? That's $1,000 flat right there.
Damn.
Oof.
Yeah. This is why I don't do math related to this hobby.
I can't do that.
This is why I don't do that. Yeah, this is bad. This is bad. Don't listen to Kevin. Don't listen to Kevin.
So
Nobody
I
listen
figure
to
I'm
him.
going to spend $300 to $400 on Greyjoys this year. That's just it's just gonna happen. And then I want to spend about that much on MCP, so that'll force me to be like very, very selective about the models that I buy for Crisis Protocol this year.
Right.
Yeah, luckily for me, at least in Crisis Protocol, I know the only thing I'm looking at getting is the new X-Men stuff that's coming out, the X-Force, and that's
the
it. And, and I
X-Force.
think I'm done. Because I've got then the Defender stuff. So like when Luke Cage and Iron Fist come out, the rest of the X-Men stuff that comes out, like I'm not buying anymore for MCP. Like I've got all my wants. Those are the teams that I'll continue playing over and over again.
Like I said, I'm gonna like my wife's main hobbies. Like we don't pay attention to each other's money, right? Because we have 3 bank accounts. We have our bank account and then each other's bank account. And as long as our bank account is in the black, we don't give a shit about each other's money.
Right.
Then that's
But we
a good
were
way.
ribbing each other about how much we spend on our respective hobbies, and I was like ashamed of myself when I went back and actually looked at it.
I don't think I want to go through my bank account and see like all my my local gaming store purchases.
Man.
So anyway, that's I might revise it to 1250, but I haven't set it in stone, but somewhere between 1,000 and 1250 is what I'd like to spend total on the hobby this year. And part of that goal is because I have so many models right now that I want to paint. And what happens is you just end up collecting more and things fall further and back in your backlog until you sell them. And I don't want to do that. I want to play the games that I have right now. I like all of them. And I'm just going to try and take a year away from the new shiny and just like enjoy what I've got. Outside of them Greyjoys, boy, I'm going to buy all of those motherfuckers.
Yeah, it sounds like you and I are in a very similar mindset for going into 2021.
All right, so that was my first one in long. So year-long spending goal between 1,000 and 1,250. I haven't really set the total yet. Paul.
Well, I'm gonna look at a similar aspect of what you're talking about, and my goal is, I think, even stricter than yours. I'm looking to get away with about $30 a month in hobby spending.
Nice.
So 30 times 10 plus another 60, so 360 max.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. Because as of right now, really my only expenditures that I want to have is to finish out my Onyx purchases and Shasvasti purchases. And I can do that for averaging that out at that price for like through June.
Nice. Just make sure you bank some money for that new Salvora terrain pack that's coming out.
The Kallstrom paint.
The extension to Kallstrom with the like sniper tower.
Yeah, which
picking
is
that up.
like that's a really nice piece of terrain. But like, because what I'm thinking is like there's the unit pack beta coming out, which I don't even know that I need because it's Code Dali and the special character Samaritan, and then like one other special character. But I have like 2 of those special characters from the Betrayal box, so I don't know, unless I really feel like I need Victor Messier like super soon. So I might actually even skip that one for now and pick it up later. That would be the February buy. And then, like, in all honesty, there's 3 other Onyx units to buy, and one is the Zeodrons, which are, a $50 buy-in because they're, too many tags. And then the other 2 are single models. So if, so right there, that's, if I spread them out and try and paint them in the meantime, then that, gives me leeway. That gives me leeway for like when Lando comes out, or, if there's some type of surprise Legion Rebel unit that comes out.
I just forgot. You just reminded me that Callus is coming out.
Yep. So, so that's kind of the surprise there. But yeah, my goal is to keep it real low. And that will tie into the next goal that I'll talk about. Yeah. Yep. So that's it for me, is to be super stingy.
Stingy. And I mean, 1250 is stingy for me. You don't want to know what I spent this year. Chris, what's your first goal?
So kind of along the same lines you guys are talking about, but I think I'm a little bit more loose with how I'm doing it. I'm basically just sticking to purchases with the game systems that I want to play. Like, I went through and I did a lot of cleaning up of like my models and stuff, like rearranging my house and how I'm putting models out and storing stuff. And like, I want to get rid of some of my War Machine stuff. Like, I want to keep one army just in case, but like, I won't make any purchases for that. So I'm mainly just like, kind of like what you were saying. Like, I don't want to have this continuous backlog that I've accumulated over the last like 12 years of, playing and hobbying and just never getting around to things and just having stuff just sit there and unpainted. So I'm going to focus on 4 game systems that we'll get into in the goals later on. And those are going to be my primary purchases. Like I said, I'll still pick up stuff for other gaming systems as they come out, but it's not going to be my primary focus. So I'm nowhere near as stingy as you guys. I'm still going to buy random stuff, but I'm at least focus on just 4 games.
So your first thing is to just focus on 4 systems.
Well, 4 companies. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
We'll put it that way because unfortunately, there's two of my slots will be company wide, not game wide.
That's fair. Oh, right. So AMG, I get it. You're cheating a little there, but I like it. I like the
Don't give away my secrets. Thanks for Asmodee helping me out with that one.
I'm picking up what you're putting down there. Okay. So my second goal, I want my front half of the year goal is I want to have 2,500 points of Kings of War painted. But I'll go crazy if I just focus on Kings of War and don't paint anything else. So my goal heading into January, I have a project that I'm working on right now that I'm not prepared to talk about, but as soon as I'm finished with that, I'm going to go from alternating between a base for Kings of War, which is between 6 and, let's be honest, 20 models in my case for my army. So I'll go from painting a base or a stand for Kings of War to something else. Be that, and it, Crisis Protocol, and it's probably going to be Crisis Protocol, the Drowned Earth, Carnival, and Riot Quests are going to be the things that I alternate. So I'll paint the stand for Kings of War, and then I'll paint however many models in that other system until I'm ready to go back to another stand of Kings of War. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to do that. And I've got the Kings of War shit down, man. Like those 16 model stands of like these specific infantry models, I can do them in like 10 days. So just because I've got, I've got the batch painting process down, it's just so tedious.
Yeah.
But what'll happen is I'll paint one stand and then I'll go to, 3, 4, 5, however many MCP models it takes, and then go back to Kings of War. And so by the end of June, I would like to have basically it's the 126 models is what I need to have painted for Kings of War. So I've got a ways to go. But I think I can do it before June. And the goal is like, I've got one local, my buddy Tim, who has that amount of Kings of War painted now. Mm-hmm. And looking at COVID vaccine timeline, June is the time when we're approximately looking at when we might be able to play again. And I would love for one of the first games for me to get back is for me and Tim to play a fully painted Kings of War game on a decked out 6x4.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I think that would just be so awesome. So that's why that set is the goal.
So pictures were required for that when that happens. Not when pictures are definitely required for that.
Yeah, definitely. So that's it. It's basically 2,500 points of Kings of War painted, and the stipulation is that I'll be allowing myself to paint some things in between each stand of Kings of War minis.
Nice.
Sounds
good. All right, so I'm gonna just keep kind of holding on to your coattails for my goals, because I'm thinking June as well, as a hopeful, hey, maybe something will be happening by then. But by June, I'm hoping that with maybe being able to go back to game stores, that the Infinity scene around here will start waking up again. Not that it's asleep, it's just, COVID. When I get to that, I'd really like to get out there with fully painted models, and I'd like to have basically all of the Onyx options painted. So that means all of the Unidron options, all of the remote options, basically everything. So no matter what I want to pull out of my bag for Onyx, it's painted.
So mechanically, what does that mean?
So essentially my goal for that is to do a mini a week for Infinity for Onyx. Which should put me right about there. I haven't done the exact math on it, but I feel like that will put me super duper close to being able to have everything by June.
Nice.
That is
Yeah, so I mean, and it's a fairly scary goal, but that's what's kind of exciting about it. And I have already started because I already set myself. You want those? What do they call them? SMART goals, right? So attainable ones as well. So I set myself some mini goals, and my first mini goal is what I'm calling Unidronuary.
I like it. Cheesy, but I like it.
So I'm currently in Unidronuary because I have the heavy weapon box of Unidrons to paint. Since that's the line troopers, I figured get them out there, and they can be in a core fire team. So I feel like that's a defensive fire team I want to put on the table, so I should paint them. But there are 4 weeks in January, and there are 4 Unidrons in that box. So essentially my goal for January is to get all 4 of those Unidrons painted. Now, the thing is, if I get them painted quick, because I've kind of, like you with the bases, I've kind of have myself in a good spot with doing that color scheme. So if it takes me a shorter time, then I either have the ability to say, okay, I'm going to take a break because that only took me 2 weeks.
Right.
Or I keep pushing on. Right. So depending on how I go, because, it does come in waves. So I'm not going to kick myself if, I get, 4 guys painted in 2 weeks or a couple days and then take a break and don't paint for a little while and still average out to that 1 model a week. So that kind of takes some of the pressure off of it, is that if I get ahead, I'm not still going, oh my God, I still got to paint next week or else I'll be behind.
Yep. No, that sounds good, man.
Good and attainable.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. And, at the very least, I have that, Unidronuary thing going on. So that'll, I don't know what February is going to bring. We'll see what the February goal is, but that all depends on how soon I hit the Unidrons. But I'm pretty excited about them, and they're all started. I got the purple base coat down on them. I was going to do the yellow one tonight while we were talking, and then I decided not to. So I'm just here clipping some other minis that need to be clipped. But yeah, so I mean it's go time. Like it's happening. I really want to be able to, show up and be like, all right, I've got all this stuff ready to go.
Painted force, man.
Yep.
It feels good.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris?
So I'm not going to go with your coattails, and I'm going to do something different. This year, kind of along with my first goal with my purchases, I am going to try and be better and put some restraint on myself and not buy the new shiny all the time this year. Like,
all right.
I want to when things come out that I think are cool, I want to just let them ride and not pick them up for a while and see if like a month or two later they're still cool to me, and if I pick them up, because there's been too many times where I'll go, ooh, shiny, pick something up, and then it sits and collects dust.
Mm-hmm.
So
believe me, I know that feeling well.
Yeah, so this year I really want to put some constraint on myself and just not have models collecting dust because they were shiny at the time that I saw them. So that's going to be
good for you.
It's going to be something I'm going to try and work on this year.
Good. Yeah, I like doing that too. Like, especially the last couple months, that's what I've been doing. It's like, do I want that? Okay, let me check back with myself in 2 weeks.
Right. Yep.
And
well, it's like even the
thing.
stuff that I got, half off for Black Friday. I put it all in a cart. As soon as everything went on sale, I put it on a cart, and I was like, I'm gonna go to bed. Let me think about this.
This is how it. Sorry.
So that was a pretty big step, just putting it in the cart and letting it sit, and then I don't think I picked it up for like another 2 days afterwards.
And it's funny. That's how I ended up with the Kings of War army. Like I put $135 worth of mega clearance Wrath of Kings minis into a shopping cart and waited a day.
I remember that.
But I've had the opposite happen, right? Where like I saw the Abyssinia starter go on sale for like $48 on Amazon, and I was like, goodbye.
Yeah, I thought when I saw it the other day for 75 I almost picked it up as an impulse grab. That's even better.
It's up on my desk right now. I got it for it's so cheap, dude. Under $50. Yeah, I had to. I love the other side. Anyway, that's a whole nother episode. All right, so for me, my final goal. So I have this is a pre-June goal, right? So most of my stuff is just going for the first half of the year. Aside from that spending goal, that's a thing. But the first year long. But this one is I'm only going to purchase models in 3 systems for the first 6 months of the year. This is it goes back to that being very selective with my purchases thing. And so the real kicker with this thing for myself is that 2 of those systems are already decided. I'm going to buy models for A Song of Ice and Fire, and I'm going to buy models for Crisis Protocol. There's just no way around it. But if I look at all the other games I play, right? So if we look at Blood Bowl, or we look at Riot Quest, or we look at, I don't know, Kings of War, Warcry, you name it, right? Any system that I'm already invested in, the Drowned Earth, even Bushido, I've already got enough models to play games. I just have to paint them. So part of my goal for this year is the reason is less spending, more painting, right? I'm trying to make my backlog get smaller instead of bigger. And in that, the third system I'm going to buy for, I don't know. But whatever it is, that's the only other system I can buy for between now and June.
So you're giving yourself some breathing room on that decision at this point, essentially.
At this point, yep. So A Song of Ice and Fire and MCP are 2 of the games I'm going to allow myself to buy models for. And for the most part, those are planned, at least by faction and by what I'm looking at, right? Mm-hmm. But the third one I'm going to leave open for whatever it is. But the decision weighs heavy because once I commit and I buy into that third system, that's the last thing that I can buy for the year.
Right. Or at least till June, right?
Yeah. Until June, yep.
And then you can change your systems or whatever.
Do whatever I need to do, right? But I'm gonna, for the first 6 months, a way that I'm going to give myself a reason to limit my purchases is going to be that I'm going to be waiting. I have some ideas what that game system is going to be. Pretty sure it'll be either Carnivale or Infinity mm-hmm. will be the other one, but I can't tell at this point.
Okay, that's fair. So I guess time for me to talk about that. Realistically, my goal is to only do any purchases are either going to be Combined Army for Infinity or Rebels for Star Wars games. And that's my cheat, right? Is that it's for Star Wars games. So it can be X-Wing,
Armada,
Armada, Legion. However, the advantage is that there's probably nothing coming for Armada. There's probably very little coming.
I was like, X-Wing will be really slow.
In X-Wing, even though there's stuff that needs to come out for the Rebels, it's not like they're pushing it super quick. And the Onyx models are essentially what they are in Infinity, and the Shazvasti run for Code 1 is pretty much done. And I want to paint my Shazvasti and Onyx. Shazvasti is most likely my second half of 2021 goal. And I don't really want to start digging into building too many more Morats until
that 3-model box they're showing for February for Shaz is so dope.
With Pride Rock.
But the problem is 2 of those 3 models are resculpts already. That'll be my 4th freaking Kodali.
The memes have been strong on that one today.
And my second Narakis, and I mean the first Narakis came out a month ago.
Yep.
That's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. Because Chris, I don't know if you realize it, but the Narakis is one of the ones in that box that we split.
Oh, is it? No, I didn't notice. Yes. I did not realize that.
And so was Kodali.
I knew the Kodali was because that was one of the whole points of us doing it, because you could have one for each of your sectorials if you're doing.
Yeah. Well, now I'll have a 4th. What do I do with her?
Give her to me.
Well, no, because she's special because she's not one of the drop trooper ones because she doesn't have wings.
But then I need models to chop up to put as tactical bases for my guys.
Well, then you should play Shazvasti because they are tactical rock out the wazoo.
Dude, that Pride rock. I'm loving the memes today.
Man, it was like a special day in Infinity Meme Land because I mean everything for Shazvasti. It's like somebody at Corvus Belli is just sitting there going, "Hey guys, the community's complaining about tactical rocks. All right, more tactical rocks."
Like, well, I mean, that's what AMG is doing that too. They're just like getting more bizarre with tactical rocks. The more people make fun of them for it, the more they lean into tactical rocks.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, part of it too is that like what's so bizarre about it with Infinity though is like half of the stuff is like taking place on spaceships.
Yeah, well,
it is true. But I mean, go look at Sabretooth's model from MCP. He's like ballet dancing on the end of a tactical rock.
The Sabretooth one actually makes sense when you put Wolverine and Sabretooth together because it looks like Sabretooth is leaping. They look like they're fighting each other when you put those two models together.
I know. It's just like out of context. It's a very funny pose.
It is, but I will defend Sabretooth. There's some other MCP ones where I'm like, I can't defend that.
Egregious tactical rock. My favorite tactical rock though is Visions because that's like the best integration and it's also like, haha, look what we did with this tactical rock. He's floating through it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty nice touch.
Cool.
But yeah, tactical. I mean, the Punisher though has the best tactical rock in MCP because
his gun bag,
it's awesome. Duffel bag.
Yep, because it makes sense.
Yep.
All right, so where were we then?
Yeah, we were on Chris's last goal. Yet or not. I didn't want to interrupt.
Sorry.
Jerk. Nope, just kidding. So on to me.
You're not kidding. I'm not
kidding. I'm not kidding. All right. So same as you guys, I'm going to be limiting myself, as I said earlier, to specific gaming systems and or companies. So much like Paul, I'm going to specifically stay to Star Wars because he's one of my few opponents that can actually play some X-Wing and or Armada against. And again, same kind of logic. X-Wing is going to be slow for the Imperial stuff to come out for Wave 2. I do have some catch up I got to do on that. Armada, again, not much is going to be coming out for Imperials, so don't have much that I have to catch up on. I just grab as I want to grab stuff. One of the things you kind of already mentioned it, Chops, that I want to do is I would like to really get some other side on the table this year. So I've already been kind of looking in and dabbling in my mind of playing Malifaux again. So I'm going to just look at weird games. Because I definitely want to play Foe. I've been watching some battle reports and I realized how much I miss playing games that have a combo system built into it, like War Machine and Malifaux. Like, I like building up those combos, and I didn't realize how much I missed it until I started watching battle reports. So, and then with that, I know we had a couple people that were really wanting to get into the other side, and so I want to get my King's Army out on the table. I'm looking at Abyssinia, so I want to grab those.
Well, then I have a special message for a friend of the show, Jim. Hey, Jim, looks like our tournament this year could have 3 people.
Hey, 3-man other side. You know what's really cool? In the Madison meta now, we have one person playing each faction.
Ooh, there you go.
I know.
Nice.
It's pretty exciting. I don't know. Like, it doesn't sound like a lot because you're like, ooh, 4 people playing the other side. But I don't know that there's that many metas for even like weird games where you could pull 4 other side players together. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, that's why I mean, I'm genuinely excited that there's potentially a 3-person tournament that's going to happen.
I mean,
for the annual Triangle Infinity tournament. I've still got my wooden spoon from that.
I don't even remember what I was playing when you two were playing that game, but I was there that day and that was hilarious. So
we took pictures and everything.
Yeah, so the same kind of mindset with the other side, since they're kind of going to have to maybe reboot and, realign where that game is. I don't have to do as many purchases with it. I have most of the King's Army stuff from the Kickstarter already. I've got the Dragoons I got to get. I got to get the cannon. And then I think for the most part, I pretty much have everything else from the Kickstarter. So I'm pretty good there. So a lot of it is just now getting that stuff's painted. So the other, Infinity is going to be my big game. It's going to be my primary focus for the entire year of 2021. Through talks with some friends here in the local community, I think I will be abandoning Pan-O, and I will be focusing on the Japanese sectorial.
That didn't take long.
Yeah, it's from talks with people. I think it's going to fit my playstyle better, as well as the fact that I'm a weeb. So I just love the samurai look and feel of that army, especially since they've redid the whole line a few years back. So I'm going to have to start doing some purchases on that, and hopefully I can find. I think Warsenal still has the big box on their site that I might be able to pick up. So I'm going to try and grab that and start building from there. And then the other game I'm going to be picking up is a Soifi, my Baratheons. The new hints of where things are going with the game, with the card redos, some of the rules tightening, it's got my interest peaked again, and so I think that's going to be I had that open spot, didn't know what I wanted to fill with it. I know I didn't really want it to be MCP, just because I was going to be grabbing that stuff anyways because I play with my kids during quarantine. So I was looking for something else to focus on, and that came out at a good time.
That's awesome. I'm like vibrating with excitement for the 2021 update for the Song of Ice and Fire. It's like, how did I describe it to you guys a couple weeks back when they first revealed it? It's like a fever dream, right? Of like everything I could have possibly asked them to do, they've done in this update. It's like, it's shaping up to be maybe the best update any game I've been playing in the last 6 years has ever had. So
and I think
it's my I can say definitively it is the game I am most excited to get back to playing. Like, there are games I want to play, right? I want to play MCP, I want to play Kings of War, I want to get all these, but nothing has me as excited as getting back to Song of Ice and Fire.
And I think what sold me on the Song of Ice and Fire as being that fourth spot is the fact that they're going to put out the new cards in an actual purchasable set. They're not going to do this whole here's print on demand or your SOL or any of that's like
they'll be packs because it's going to be like faction and objective packs because you need new objectives too.
That sold me.
Yeah, because I mean it's basically like it's a big yearly update. It's kind of like the yearly updates that maybe like War Machine was getting in its prime, and like what I'm trying to think of some other games that have, like Guild Ball, right? Guild Ball had like big season changes, and it's a big change to the game. Yep. So like a total rebalance. It's just very exciting.
Yep, I'm all aboard for it. So those are going to be. And again, these are the games that I'm going to bring with me when we get to a point where we're able to play in stores and stuff. Like, these are the games I'll have on hand with me, and that I'll be playing. You want to play something else? Cool. Let me know in advance, and I'll bring that stuff with me. But like, this is going to be my focus. These are the only games through the entirety of 2021 that I will be playing. Is these set games, and again, it's mostly going to be Legion, Soifi, Infinity, and Foe. Again, the other side, we want to play it. Let me know. I'll grab my stuff. And I'm hoping, because we have such a big Malifaux community here in North Carolina, I'm hoping I can start pulling some, and with Paul and Jim's help, pulling some of those other guys and making the other side a little bit bigger.
Sweet. I think it can be done, especially since it can be found pretty affordably these days.
Yeah. I know one of our stores here stocks it, and it's, I think it's minimum 20% off, if not cheaper.
Yeah, and it's so good. Oh, God, the other side is so good. Okay, so I think we've nailed it, guys. We've gone through the goals. So a quick recap for me. My goals are to have 2,500 points of Kings of War built for 2,000 point lists with options before June. And then alternating to paint systems where I've accumulated models and I need to paint them. Then spending between $1,000 and $1,250 on the year, and only purchasing into 3 game systems before June. The first 2 being Song of Ice and Fire and Marvel Crisis Protocol, and then hopefully something non-licensed as the third one.
Something a little more, whatchamacallit?
Something that's just not a licensed property, right? I feel like a licensed guy shill because I'm like, oh yeah, Song of I want to play the Westeros and Marvel stuff, guys. But they're just good games, so I end up playing them. But
yep, yeah, and then mine is the one Infinity model a week. And I don't know if I talked about Legion, but my Legion is to do 1 Legion unit a month.
Nice. That's a good goal because that means you'll get at least 4 Infinity models, and between 1 and 7 models for Legion 2.
Yeah, and that's why I'm calling it, unit, because if it's like a busy month and I just want to paint a commander, I'm just going to paint a commander.
That counts.
It does count.
Yeah, so that, and if it's something where I got through the Infinity stuff quick, like this week, it's like the Ichatron, which is like 2 colors and some shading. Maybe I'll jump on the Mandos. But yeah, and I'm not going to like kill myself if I don't get that part of it done, but I just, would like to keep going on the Legion stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a similar goal in mind for my Legion stuff. It's just I'm doing more of trying to get stuff painted in release order, so that way I'm breaking things up that I'm painting. But then also I want to start throwing in between the other game systems in there to break it up as well too. Kind of similar to what you're doing with your Infinity and Legion stuff.
Yeah, I found that has worked quite well for me with the Legion stuff. I might be breaking that a little bit because I'm kind of feeling because part of it is that like right now I am trying to avoid painting the Wookiees and the Tauntauns.
Yeah, I can see why.
And they're kind of creeping up on me. So I might wimp out and try and paint Rogue One themed stuff.
Gotcha.
Because I got the K2, so I could easily do Cassian and then the Commandos and Jyn.
Right.
So that might be my next couple months of where Legion goes. Either that, or I'll get crazy and try and do Sabine and some Mandalorians, or I'll just go to town on the Wookiees and just suck it up and do it.
Yeah, and
because there was something else I was hesitant on, which was doing the 1.4 FD laser cannon, and once I got it done, I was like, oh, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, and I know you guys are doing some work with trying to get me into the Weekend Legion game that you guys, the once a month Weekend Legion game you guys have been doing. And I think when you made the comment the other day, and again, I'm gonna preface this that all this is friendly, none of this is meant to be shameful. When you mentioned that there might be some ribbing because my stuff is not fully painted, I actually took that because I knew it was, again, playful and friendly, not, trying to actually shame me. I took it as this is, if I start joining you guys on a regular basis and playing this on a regular basis, I'm going to take this as a chance to get my Legion my Legion stuff painted.
Because you'll be playing and you'll go to roll your dice and Bob will very much just be like, they're not painted, so they don't get that many dice.
Yeah, and again, and I know this from a playful standpoint. Nowhere in anything will I ever condone someone doing that as to actually shame and put somebody down. So that's why I prefaced it that it is. I know it's friendly. I know these people. I know it's meant as a joke and playfulness. It's not meant to bully or shame me. So I'm just putting that out there.
Absolutely. Because here's the thing though, like it keeps me motivated to paint my Legion stuff too, because it does, when Bob puts like, when he like updates you and is like, hey, look at this table I spent last night agonizing over the position of every box of scatter terrain and trying to make sure that it's all painted. You kind of want to respect what he's doing and come somewhat close to paint it, and it's like for him, and I know, even just from speaking with him, it's like, if you were to come like the first time and have 1 unit done, and then the next time you come and you have 2, that's cool.
Well, I'm not going to play the Bark Speeder then when the first time I show up because it's half painted right now. That way I'll be a little ahead of the curve.
Work the system, man. Work the system.
Yeah, heck yeah. Nothing wrong with
hey,
that.
I got a full unit painted for him, so.
You guys are laughing, but I'm over here like, a resin printer is $300, and agnostic system rule books aren't too bad. that could round me out, and I still get a bunch of models this year.
I was gonna say that fits into your budget there. That increases your budget.
Oh God, I can't
options,
do that.
Yeah.
You can. It's whether you should.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh boy. Yeah, let's not talk about that right now.
So
Okay,
speaking
guys.
of what we are going to talk about right now, we have listener questions, huh?
Yes, listener questions from Bill. All 3 of these questions are from our loved patron Donald, and so we're just going to roll through these because I think they're great questions, especially like with regards to the topic. So, guys, excluding a quote-unquote need for a tournament, how do you decide what order to work on stuff?
Ooh. For me, it's whatever is striking my fancy. I've never been too strict on what I'm painting outside, like I said, outside of what I'm prepping for a tournament. Back when I was doing tournaments, it's honestly, it's the most current thing that I bought. Like I said, I was in the middle of getting my Bark Speeder painted. I got it almost. The speeder itself is pretty much almost done, except for now working on the blue striping for the 501st markings. I bought Baratheons yesterday, and now they're like, ooh, shiny. And so the Bark Speeder got set to the side, and I've got I'm pretty much almost the entire Baratheons are at least base coated at this point in time.
I feel. Yeah.
So for me, it's a lot of like, ooh, shiny. I've never been too strict on what I paint in what order.
And I think I already know what Paul and I's answer is. It's paint what you feel. I feel like based on your answer, Chris, we should put that on a T-shirt because like that's basically what all 3 of us are going to say.
Yep, it is. It is paint what you feel.
Yep. I know the painting for a tournament with painting needs. Obviously, I'm going to paint for that, right? Like the last really good example I have for that when I was actually painting under pressure was when I was painting my models for Carnivale, like the guild models to get them ready for that Gen Con event that got canceled.
I remember that
before. And, outside of that, I haven't really I guess Don't Look Back, actually. That's not true because Don't Look Back I wanted to have painted before Halloween so we could play painted games. But even that's a little bit of paint what you feel. And that's really what gets me through. The only reason that I was able to paint 170 plus models this year is because I was painting exactly what I wanted to. All the time. Like, and honestly, you should see, like, if I'm looking up at my little hobby cabinet, like I've got at least 7 models up there that are a third painted or half painted. Because I got to a point where I was like, I'm not feeling this anymore. And if I keep painting it, I'm going to hate it. And then it's going to slow down my progress on the next thing I start. So I stopped them and I picked them back up later when I'm like, you know what? I do want to finish that. And that's, the one I've got looking at right now is Black Bella for Riot Quest, and I'll pick her back up. It's just a lot of white and, it's hard to paint all the white and then get motivated to paint the rest of it. So yeah, paint what you feel, I think is my answer there.
Yeah, I think that's kind of our advice in general, right? Is to paint what you feel. And, that's kind of how, that's one of the reasons why my goals are Infinity and Legion, because that's what I'm feeling, right? And one of the reasons why I'm choosing Onyx over Shezvasti or Morats is because I'm feeling Onyx paint-wise, even though I get the feeling that I'm probably, once I get around to Morats, I'm probably going to absolutely love playing them. I think of all the sectorals in combined, I think that's the one that's going to probably click for me the most. But painting wise, I'm super duper into what I'm doing for Onyx, so I'm gonna push it.
All right, and so guys, I think right now, the next question is, how do you manage and track your progress to your goal? And I think you guys are probably going to be a work in progress here, but I can go over what I do. Yeah,
go through what you do, and then I want to say what I I actually just started the other day when I started Unidronuary.
Cool. Yeah, so I give myself challenges. I set my basically, and I was doing this without really thinking about it, and then I ended up having a conversation in Discord about this specific topic, and I sort of paint in. If anybody's familiar with the Agile world, sprints. Like I look at something and I usually think of it in week or 2 week chunks. And I'm like, what can I get done in the next 2 weeks? And then I just set that for myself and I roll. And then I have a tracking spreadsheet. So I keep a spreadsheet that tracks exactly what system, what model I'm painting in, and then also exactly what paints I used in it. So if you look at my cells, it'll say the system, the models, the number of models painted, and then the paints used on the models themselves. And then usually I'll put a picture of my palette when I'm done too. So that I can like look back at the palette and see how I mixed paints. And I put that all inside the cells of the spreadsheet. And so that's how I track.
I would love to see your sprint review boards, man.
Yeah, I mean, Scrum mastering is just like built into my DNA at this point.
I wonder what your stakeholders have to say about all that.
Well, the only stakeholder in this particular operation is me, so I'm pretty pleased.
I'm sorry, as a certified Scrum master, I'm having fun with the wordplay right now. No, that's a good way to do it.
So I feel like what I am starting this year as far as that, because I hadn't ever really necessarily thought about the fact of like tracking it. So this is going to be my first year really trying to track what I'm doing, but I'm excited to do it. And mine's a little bit different. Mine's actually a little bit, I think, inspired by Brandon Sanderson.
I know where this is going.
Because
no surprise, but cool.
Yeah, no, it's weird because it's something that he said in a live stream, and I'm like, oh, that'd be a great way to do painting. But he like literally tracks what he writes on a given day, how many words he does, and like how much time he spent on it. And that's really one of the things that I'm curious about is my time spent and on what. Right. So my spreadsheet is going to be a bit more like January 1, 65 minutes blocking in the purple on the Unidron. Right. And then just kind of keeping track of that just on a daily basis, just so this way I can go back and look and see what I did. And one of the ADHD challenges is and especially for me, is a complete lack of understanding of time. So I think it's actually going to be a good process for helping me understand how long it does take to paint models. Because I'll tell you, any model I paint, I'm like, that probably took an hour.
And it's weird, right? Like it because you can get in the zone and lose time, like just completely lose it. Yep. But also like the spectrum for me, right? Like it goes from like a half hour for a Song of Ice and Fire, Bolton Cutthroat, right? 28 minutes. I've got that paint job pretty much nailed down scientifically, because I've done 36 of them.
Right.
But the, like my, vermin, whatever, for the disease pig for Relic Blade, 13 hours.
Right.
One miniature.
Right.
Right. It just oh boy, it really varies.
It can't, that happened to me last night. Like, so I sat down probably around 9ish, to start working on these stag champs. And the next thing I knew, it was midnight. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't got up. I mean, I put some anime on in the background, put the headphones on. And I mean, I took short little breaks, but I just focused on the anime because I had it up full screen. I didn't see a clock. And the next thing I knew, it was midnight. This was like, and I got so much done. It was great, but it was also a huge, like, where did the time go kind of thing.
Yeah. And you guys know what I'm working on now, right? Those are 2 hours per model.
Right.
So, I'm just budgeting myself the time that I need to get it done in the goal date, which for me, the goal date is the 12th to be done with them.
Right.
So,
well, and
the 14th.
One of the other things that I'm doing right now, and I mentioned this to I think to both of you, and I think you had responded on it, Kev. Maybe it was just on a chat that we were having. But one of the things that I'm also trying to do is when I'm doing bigger parts of the model, like blocking in major colors, I'm trying to set myself up on a temporary setup downstairs. So this way, when I'm doing the colors that I can be a little more distracted on, I can be sitting downstairs with the family.
Yeah, sure. You and I talked about that the other day when you came over.
Yeah, it's a good plan. Like being able to like sit and watch TV and block in primaries is like a really good kind of like a hobby cheat.
Yeah, exactly.
You can still hang out with the family, but you can get, and what's really the most tedious part to me, right? Like I hate base coating and I love layering and shading. Mm-hmm. Base coating is just like, ugh, it's like the thing you have to do to get to the really fun part.
Right. Right. And then I won't feel so bad when I do need to sit upstairs and sit at the desk in the comfy chair. And I'm like, I'm just going to be upstairs for 2 hours working on these minis. Then I don't feel like I'm not hanging out with the family because I did all the major color blocks, downstairs with them.
Yeah.
I know that's really cool.
I feel you on that one. Cause like, I know one of my big issues is the fact that my hobby desk is also where my computer is at. And so because I was so heavily into playing, a lot of these games that I was playing, especially WoW, which is a huge time sink of itself, I would sit down at the desk and I'm like, well, I need to get this done. And I would never paint because I was like, I need to get this done. The fact now that I've pretty much since this holiday season, I have barely played any video games. It has really helped me get my focus on being able to do other things. Now, unfortunately, that's been catching up on a lot of TV because I read 3 Brandon Sanderson books in 2 months that were over 1,200 pages each. I got really far behind on TV, so I've been catching up. But I feel that like just having that space where you can just do things and have that background noise like I did last night. It was like, it's great. And not having the other distractions.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then, I think that'll help because then, that'll decrease my family guilt, while still being able to meet some of these progress goals. And it might even be something where I might end up getting really far ahead blocking things in because I realize, instead of just blocking one guy and then starting to shade them, I have, 4 Unidrons that have all their purple blocked in.
Yep.
Sure.
And it didn't take all that long to do that and, hung out.
Yeah. And so to answer the question for me on terms of how I track my progress and my goals, I don't. I'm not that kind of person. I track and monitor goals too much at work. I don't want to do that in my hobby life. I don't want to turn my hobby into a job. So I don't. And that's probably why I don't get too much painted. But at the same time, I'm also enjoying my hobby more because I can do it when it helps me relax and I'm able to enjoy it because it's not a job for me.
I'm just a sucker really for data.
That's really, me too. I love data. And so that's like why I do it too.
And I commend people that do it. I wish that I could be like you guys.
It's a little bit, it's like gamifying it a little bit too, right? Like it's like experience bars checking
Definitely
up.
can see that.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like seeing numbers and, and with some of them being time related, I think it'll just help understand, my time challenge for ADHD.
Yeah, maybe you'll start showing up on time.
Big step for
going
that.
Forward.
dude, you don't even understand the streak I am on with that.
I don't.
I have not been late for work in almost 2 months.
Wow.
To the point where I found myself, because I'm so used to just showing up and punching in, I realized I was going to get in trouble for punching in too early.
Good job, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I rib you on it because it's a joke that we have, but that's really good. That's great.
Oh, man. I know. Yeah. It's like shocking. I'm like, wow, I can't believe that I'm like early all the time.
Yeah, that's one facet of ADHD that I've never had time dysmorphia, so I'm lucky on that one.
Yeah, lucky you. It's
well, I think that's more of my military father drilling into the whole if you're not early, you're late mentality in my brain since I was 2.
Probably, and that's one reason why I get terrified when I have to hang out with somebody who was in the military, because I know they're going to be on time, and that means that then they're going to be waiting like 40 minutes.
This is why I tell you to get places 20 minutes early before I plan on getting there. I've learned.
I know. Well, yeah, but now if I carry this over into my personal life,
now you're going to be super early.
We might have to readjust.
We'll see. Hopefully,
yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
All right, guys. Final thoughts time.
Well, wait. I got questions. See, just a quick question to add to some of the questions here. Do either of you have any non-gaming goals that you've set for yourself that you might want to share?
I do. A bit of a personal one, but I have always really struggled with my weight. A lot of it because of my mental health issues that I have. And this year is one of the ones that I'm feeling very strong that I'm going to try and work on that. That's something I'm going to try and take care of this year, because I've have a lot of people in my family right now that are going through some issues. We know COVID's still a thing and it's not going anywhere, and people like me are at risk. So I want to be there for my kids. So I'm going to try and take care of it.
Awesome. That's quite commendable. And far more better than what I'm going to say.
I set the bar high.
I feel like I'm like aping off Chris, but I received like a fitness watch for Christmas from my wife. And since I put it on, I've been way more active and way more conscious of what I've been eating all the time. Awesome. And so my goal is similar, right? Like, cause if I think back, Paul, like to, I don't know, 2011, 2012, when I was like 193 pounds and like 8% body fat. And I was, like my weightlifting totals were insane.
Yep.
It's just crazy where I am now.
Yeah.
So,
when I would talk to you and I'd be like, oh, what'd you do on your lunch break? And you're like, oh, I went outside, stood in the parking lot, did some pistols.
Yeah, dude, that was like deep into the bullshit of this bullshit that I was into.
Such a fucking meathead.
But I was doing pistols in the parking lot on my lunch breaks. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah, it's funny that you're not exexaggerating. I think that's what's the funniest thing about that is like that is a legit conversation.
Oh man, I wish I had known you back then.
I was a gym rat for a couple years. I hated my wife. So, I mean it, like, boy, hated her.
No, wait. Let's specify, though, that it's a different one from the current.
Was like ex-wife, right?
Yeah. Ex-wife. Yeah. And I think it was just like this seething hatred that like fueled my weightlifting. And so I was very obsessed. And I'm not going to fall into that because I don't have that sort of motivation, but my motivation is much more where Chris is, right? Like I've got this little one now that I want to make sure I'm around for. And I'm at this point I'm 60 pounds heavier than I was then, so I'm definitely wearing a gamer medium at this point, AKA double XL shirts, some big dude, right?
Medium.
But, I want to get back into fitness in a meaningful way. So I've been set myself a goal to exercise a half hour to 45 minutes a day and meet all of the different goals that my watch is setting. And it's like that gamifying thing, right? The same way that I have the goals for my painting, I have these sort of gamey goals for my fitness as well.
No, as soon as we're done here, I've got push-ups and squats I'm going to be doing right before I hit the shower to go to bed. So.
Dude, you got to get Ring Fit Adventure. That's my final thought. Everybody, go buy Ring Fit Adventure if you have a Switch.
I really have.
Dude, that shit is addictive. It's so fun. Anyway, we'll talk about it offline. It's so good.
So, all right. Well, now I I'm going to be going for more walks. So thank you very much for that.
We've
guys.
guilted him into it.
Yeah, you guilted me because now I feel like I've been like confident. I've been like, yeah, I've like lost weight during
I was about
COVID.
to say, says the
I'm
guy
amazing.
that out of the three of us that's lost weight during COVID.
Yeah, but now I feel like I need to like I have the head start, so I just need to keep going to stay ahead. But so now that's on there. But I mean, that was kind of a goal anyway. It's just now I feel like I need to mention that. But my other goal is to do a lot more reading this year. I found myself wasting a lot of time in 2020 dicking around on the phone. And so I'm trying to dick around on the phone less and get through some reading. So I set myself some book reading goals for what I want to accomplish for that. So if you have noticed that I've not been on especially things like Discord nearly as much as I was at one point, it's intentional. But I'm still reading and watching, and because I get all the updates from our Discord, so I still like to see what everybody's saying.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that because you reminded me of that, because I want to stick with my goal. Like this year, Paul got me back into reading, and it's something that I've remembered that I love. So I did 11 books. So I did a book a month. I failed in December. And I think it was just because, again, exhausted for reading 3 Stormlight books in 2 months. God, that's insane. Yeah. It was an insane amount of reading. And so I want to stick with that. I want to continue doing a book a month. So by January, I want to have Rhythm of War finished, and then and continue going forward with that. So I forgot about that. That is a goal of mine this year. So thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, once you get into the Mistborn era too, though, like
when you brought over that Malazan book,
you can probably do Alloy of Law and Shadows of Self in a month, because I did Shadows of Self in 3 days.
When you brought that Malazan book over for me, I was like, this is tiny. This isn't a book.
Yeah, they don't stay that way, because I'm in the back half of that now, and every single one of them is 1,200 pages.
Good. I'm liking those epic books now for some reason.
Yeah, and there's lots of and again, anyway, that's an off-topic conversation. It's good. So anyway, final thought: read more, exercise more,
paint more.
Yeah. Paint more.
We'll still Miniac's outro. Paint more minis. I don't do it as cool as him though.
Paint more minis.
Yeah.
No, I don't have that scream down. I can't do the metal scream. Sorry, but what I can do is say bye.
Thank you, patrons.